Hey, everybody. Welcome to day 104 Reseller Reflections, a day in the life of a full time reseller supporting her family. It is Friday, September 20th, and it is about 7 p.m. here. And yeah, it's Friday. We hit our sales goal today. So, day one and counting. That was exciting. It's been a couple days. So, yeah, happy to have that. All right. So, I am not feeling great today and just doing my best to get through. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about those kind of days and our productivity and ways to be productive even when we don't feel like it. But first, I have to say, one of the ways I was so productive is I am reset to zero because I know that Jill of Rusted Truck Relics, Jason the Santee Swapper, Char Fabulous Flamingos, Kathy Singz, Nick Mr. C Chats, Vanessa Brightest Holidays, the Diabetic Reseller, Judith R, and Pam of Whimsy and Such are along on this journey with me. So that was one way to be productive and make sure that got done, is to come on here and have to say I did it. Yep. Shipping is done and everything is ready to roll for the morning. All right. So I'm not feeling 100% today, maybe like 70%. And it just got me thinking about a conversation I was having with a friend the other day. And, when you don't feel like it, what comes to save the day? Your time blocks. Time blocking comes to save the day because the beauty of time blocking and setting up your schedule is that you already know what you have to do. You have the blocks of time set aside. If you really can't do it, if you're really not like really good, you can slide those time blocks over to another day on your calendar. But most of the time, as long as you're feeling about 50%, you can just show up for those time blocks. Just set your timer, show up. You do not have to think about what you're doing. You don't have to plan it out. You just show up. And some days are like that. You just need to show up and you don't need to think about it. You already know the things that you need to get done during the day. You already know the time you have to spend in order to be productive and get the things done. So we have videos on time blocking and how we make that work for us. We actually, in our Patreon group, we do a Sunday night reseller reset where we go through our schedules, and some of us time block, not all of us do. But I just really wanted to talk about how time blocks can save you on those days when you're just not feeling it and you just don't have the mental capacity to plan everything out. They come to save the day. They're really quite heroic, those time blocks. And just consider that as planning in advance. You are able to move them and slide them around. That is also the beauty of time blocks. Like I have I call them boulders during the day, 4 hours of listing that I have in there, and that has to get done. So let's say I have a day where I just can't do it. I have other conflicts. I can slide that, to the next day, one of those hours to the next day. I can slide it to the weekend. If that's the case, I can do a time block early. Like yesterday, I did an extra hour. So I just took an hour off today and just slid it around. And wasn't that beautiful? But I really have to say that they saved me today, those time blocks. And I know that I've did everything I needed to do today, including my slight edge list. And I thought maybe you might want to try it and see if that works for you. I highly recommend it. Then I started thinking about, well, how did I even get into this time block thing? Like, how did it become so important to me, or in such a powerful tool? And I don't think I ever really thought about this after the fact, but years ago, my daughter was in high school. I think she was in 9th or 10th grade. And um, she has ADD. And so she had like time management, techniques and things like that. And I was really struggling one day. I was in my office and she might have been helping me. And I was like, I can't get it all done. It just doesn't seem like there's enough. Like I'm always distracted. There's always these, things coming in, or notifications or messages or texts or, things. And I was just so unfocused and unable to really be productive. And she said, well, why don't you set a timer for, I don't remember what time she used, for half an hour. Why don't you just set a timer for half an hour and just don't do anything else? Just work for that half an hour on one task and just get it done. So I did it and I was like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. And then from there, I kind of broke up my schedule, did time blocks. If you've heard any of our time blocking episodes, for an hour time block, I am able to concentrate for longer periods of time. Some people, that's too long, an hour. So I'll set my timer for 50 minutes, 50. That is an hour time block. And I focus on whatever task I'm doing for that 50 minutes. And at the end, then I have 10 minutes to finish up the task I'm working on, move on, not move on to the next one, take a break, take the dog out, grab a snack, whatever, get another cup of coffee, whatever it is, respond to text. Maybe there's something I need to answer. And so I use those 10 minutes to do that before I move on to the next time block. If it is a task that is particularly challenging, to focus on, I do it in 30-minute time blocks, which means I set my timer for 25 minutes. Now, I use my timer on my phone. That probably isn't great for everybody. If your phone is a huge distraction for you, I recommend, using another thing, getting a kitchen timer, like anything simple. That might work better. There's the cube ones you flip over. The name of them escapes me right at the moment. But we have timers in our C-Chat store that's always linked up below. But if your phone is a distraction and you think the notifications, or you don't want to put it on Do Not Disturb, put your phone away while you're focusing on that if it's a distraction, and find another timer. If it's going to be a problem for you, just find another timer. I use my phone. I don't find it distracting. A lot of times I'll put it on Do Not Disturb. And all right, so there you go. Time blocks, the history of my time blocking adventure, and reasons why you might consider it on days when you, like I had today, when you just don't feel like it. Because the quote I used in Motivation in Minutes was also one I used here last night, but I think it bears repeating. It's the rent axiom. Success is never owned. It is rented, and the rent is due every day. Right in your time blocks or on your task list. All right, guys, I will see you on day 105. I hope you have a great evening. Bye-bye.